Hi, my name is Doug and this is Aragon. Aragon is a red-tailed hawk. You can see by his tail and the belly band on the chest. He represents our wild places at Five Rivers Metro Parks. We have 16,500 acres of land and multiple facilities. These parks are wonderful for hiking and fishing, backpacking experiences, and just a chance to see beautiful gardens or to learn skills like gardening and boating, and they're a lot of fun. We really want parents and all of our community members to know how to access information on our park programs and special events. And if you use our webpage, you can sign up for electronic newsletters that come directly to your inbox. We also put out Parkways that comes out twice a year, and that's a magazine that's mailed to every household in Montgomery County. So whatever you do, that come out and see the wildlife and also enjoy the parks. It helps us be healthy individuals when we're outside, enjoying the fresh air and using our bodies to get some good exercise, and it's part of our healthy, active community. So come and join us and have a lot of fun.
It really is a wonderful event for kids to express themselves in ways that are outside of just being in class. So it's an exciting time in Dayton Public Schools, watching our young people really tell stories about politics, about how they feel, about the world, all types of sides of them that we don't normally see during the school day.
To be honest, I was blown away. It's beautiful coming to my city and seeing the young talent, you know what I mean? It takes a lot to get on stage and to, stand in front of a lot of people. And I know some people rehearsed it and some of them was like reading it live, but it's different when you're in front of people, and they did their thing. So I was excited to be a part of it.
Something that I really liked was that every student's piece, it had some level of impact. It meant something. A lot of it was a personal story.
They all left a piece of them on that stage. And for me, that was big, for them being students. They're youth out here expressing themselves. That just made me happy.
We need to use dialogue within our communities, states, and nation to achieve the dream of so many people in the world. A dream of peace and justice that has been put off for too long. A dream that we must keep fighting for together.
We are gathered here tonight to commemorate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So great of a champion he was to our people and a true king amongst men. But I challenge each of you to take a long, hard look at yourselves and reflect. Then ask yourselves, would he be proud of where we are today?
Anybody who can write and wants to write or wants to be able to express themselves, they should come here. There's no reason, if you have the opportunity, for you not to try.
And after you try, you're gonna get better. So never be afraid to start and try.
That's right.
At Dayton Public Schools, we come together to celebrate the spirits of sportsmanship and community.
However, poor behavior by fans and sometimes athletes have created challenges that impact the safety and enjoyment of these gatherings.
We believe in creating a positive and inclusive environment for everyone, students, families, and fans alike.
Our collective responsibility is to ensure that our athletic events remain safe, enjoyable, and supportive.
To achieve this, we have a few reminders. Respect the game.
Make sure you show respect for the athletes, coaches, and officials.
Remember that these events are about skill, teamwork, and friendly competition. Do not walk on the court or field, and remain in the stands and on the sidelines.
Show support
in a positive way.
Celebrate good plays and efforts by the team you're there to support.
Avoid negative chants, cheers, or comments that may create a hostile environment.
Set a positive example. Adults should lead by example for students.
Remember that children are watching, learning, and absorbing your reaction.
Students should lead by example for their peers and for those who look up to them.
Remember that your behavior influences those around you.
Let's come together to support our students in the right way.
Positive energy enhances the entire experience and creates lasting memories for our young athletes.
Join us in fostering an environment where everyone feels welcome, safe, and inspired. Together, let's make our athletic events a source of pride for our entire community. We are DPS.
So when you first walk in this particular building, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see bright, open spaces, clean floors. When they say it's a new age here within this building, it truly is. The culture here at E.J. Brown is about keeping it consistent, about keeping it simple, keeping it about students. How do we get students from where they are now to where we need them to be? So about being in those hallways, building those relationships, those positive relationships with students, knowing their names, and just building that bond, believing in them. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, keep it all about students. That's why we're here at E.J. Brown.
This year, we have a very strong administration team, and we have very clear expectations, not only for the students, but also for the teachers. So that consistency is really strong this year, and I see that growing as we keep moving forward. I love challenging the students. So I teach science, and for me, it's more about teaching them to think more than like the content. So really getting them to understand what's happening around them and then be able to use that in situations that they might get into outside of the school. We've been changing the expectations and honing more into academics around the students. And then we've also been bringing in more community pieces. We've had some change over the years, but the last couple years, they've stayed the same, and we're growing more community base.
As a security resource officer here, my main job is student safety. I also am somewhat of a counselor or a mediator to the students. A lot of them come and talk to me, and we try to figure out solutions together to make things better, because if things outside of school are affecting you, then you're not going to be able to get a proper education. I believe that building a relationship with these students is the key to them advancing educationally as well as socially. E.J. Brown is the best middle school because we have the best sports teams, we have the best teachers, we have the best SRO team in the district, we have the best principal in the district. So if you want to be the best, you should come to E.J. Brown.
I think students should go here because it gives them a better mindset. The biggest difference between elementary and middle school is the moving around, but it really wasn't that hard to get used to. The way to be a Bruin is to follow the Bruin B's. Be respectful, be responsible, be safe, and be unstoppable.
If anybody is watching this, you can tell we have some amazingly dynamic, smart, wonderful kids in Dayton Public Schools. Tell me why you're in Dayton Public Schools.
I like going to E.J. Brown because of the staff. I love
like
the
that.
staff.
Yeah, you had a new principal. He is good.
Mm-hmm.
He walks around a lot, checks on you guys. I like him.
I want to be a robotics engineer. I want to take that to college and do great things with it.
How'd you come up with that?
I'm in a pathway called advanced manufacturing, and I'm taking it currently.
So your exposure or your experience in advanced manufacturing got you start thinking about, hey, this is the field I want to go into.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Awesome.
I like going to Belmont because I like the people, and I like the teachers, and I like the staff, and especially like the principal, Miss McDowell.
I want to go to Dayton Public Schools because I feel like every single teacher in Dayton Public Schools are really appreciative of the students that they have and show a lot of love to them.
Mm-hmm. What I like most about the district is all of the opportunities that they have, such as DPS University, where you can earn college credits while you're still in high school. The staff is really welcoming, and they're always pushing you to do your best in whatever you do.
I'm looking forward to getting some of my college credits already out of the way before I go to college. I have a lot of favorite staff members, but the one who I would say influences me the most is most likely Miss Mo, because she just stays on top of everyone and she makes sure that you're doing well and having a good day and stuff like that.
I'm thinking of studying law and becoming a lawyer because I don't really like the laws we have now. So I'd like to maybe change them.
I like it. So you want to be an advocate?
Yes.
DeAndre?
I've thought about being a realtor. I always wanted to,
What?
Get rid of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I've never heard a kid say that.
I wanted to get rid of the whole bunch of empty, vacant houses around my neighborhood, feel me? It just seemed like a good thing to do because it just make the neighborhood look bad. Even though it's good people around there, it just make my neighborhood look bad.
The whole staff and administration helped me get through my sophomore year all the way to my senior year.
And I appreciate you sharing that space where you said you had some adversity. You know, that this hasn't always been an easy road, and there was a whole family that wrapped their arms around you. I want you to know how much we in Dayton Public Schools are proud of you, first of all, and how much we wish you the best in the future. And we hope that you stay in touch with us so we're able to talk about what a graduate looks like as they move out into the world and do things other than high school.
Project Life is a transition program for students that have special needs and are on IEPs. It's post-secondary, so once they meet all their graduation requirements, their IEP team can decide that they would like to have them continue to receive services, and they can stay with us until their 22nd birthday. We teach them employability skills, how to get a job, how to keep a job, how to interact with people, interact with supervisors, how to be aware of what accommodations you need to be successful at the job. Then we give them a chance to practice that by going out in the community and working. And so our students build those skills, so once they leave, they can be successful and as independent as they can be going forward. So right now we're partnered with Boonshoff Museum. We go there weekly. The students clean the display cases, they clean high touch points. We partner with Woodman Bowl. This is our second year partnered with Woodman Bowl. We go there every Thursday. The kids vacuum, they clean and sanitize bowling balls. They organize all the shoes. In the warmer months, we go to the Learning Tree Farm. It's also our second year for that, and the kids get to do farm work or we garden. We also have a standing partnership with Innovative Plastic, and the outside business partnerships is really what makes this program great because it gives the kids an opportunity to put the skills we talk about into practice. Currently, it's open to any Dayton Public Schools student that has an IEP and has met all the graduation requirements, and it's simply a decision that their team makes at their senior IEP meeting that they want them to do what's called defer their diploma and continue to receive services. Everyone can do anything that you put your mind to. Sometimes you may have to do a little bit differently. You might have to figure out something that makes it work for you, but everyone is capable. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not.
Hi, my name is Penny Bain. I'm a grandmother of 2 children that attends Ruskin Elementary School. I love things down here at Ruskin because I just feel like it's a loving, caring school. They offer so much. It's the love that they get. It takes a village to raise a child, and this is a village. There's a custodian here, Mr. Body. He gives them like fist bumps, and he makes sure he gives every child one before they enter the school. And then if they're tardy, they go and then they see Miss Love, and she's always giving bear hugs and loves and said, now, you know, get on school on time. But my experience with one that I had is my little granddaughter had separation anxiety, and the school helped her tremendously get over that, you know, and like let her know that she is safe. She is, you know, they got a safe place for her, but it's wonderful, like the staff, and they just do so much.
Hi, my name is Marisha Collins, and I am a kindergarten teacher here at Kemp Elementary School. I'm a product of Dayton Public Schools, a proud graduate of Dunbar High School. I had amazing teachers that impacted my life tremendously. So much so that I knew when I graduated, I wanted to pursue a career in education. My teachers went above and beyond their expectations, and I knew I wanted to be that kind of educator. I wanted to make a difference in the lives of children as well as their families. A teacher is, to me, a position that you are called to be in. It is not something that everyone can be. I chose DPS because I had fantastic role models that showed me just what a teacher should be and how teachers should interact with students and parents. I feel children need teachers who care for them and who have a passion for teaching. And I do believe that my passion is there. I can't see me doing anything else. And that's why I chose DPS.
Everybody loaded up? Ready, Dr. Bailey? Yes. Good one. Good evening. I'd like to call this April 9th, 2024 review session to order. Madam Treasurer, may we have a roll call, please?
President Smith.
Present.
Ms. Wick.
Present.
Dr. Goodwin.
Here.
Dr. Bailey.
Present.
Mr. Lacey.
Here.
Mr. Walker.
Present.
Ms. Reinhardt.
Present.
Mr. Nicholas.
Here.
8 present.
Thank you. May we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Moving along, see we have a presentation. I see we have some visitors here. So, Dr. Lawrence, can you cue us up for our presentation?
Absolutely, President Smith. Here we are, it's that time of year. We're going into spring, which means winter just passed. And when winter passes, we want to see our winter sports champions. This is exciting. So all of us up here in this dance have spent time out there at wrestling and basketball and, you know, all the stuff they do in the winter. So we're ready.
All right. Rest of the board, please join me in front of the desk.
First, we'd just like to thank you guys for allowing us to come back to recognize our student athletes and our winter champions. So we will start out with A.D. Wynn, and he'll start with the middle school, and then I'll follow behind him, and then Coach Chastain to come behind me.
All right, so our first champion we have tonight is Belmont Middle School girls basketball.
Thank you. My name is Chaz Crawley. I'm the middle school girls basketball coach at Belmont. Along with me, I have Jennifer Marcheva. First, I would just like to thank the board, Superintendent Dr. Lawrence, for giving us this opportunity to come here. I'd also like to thank Mr. Wynn, Ms. Cicchetti, Victoria Jones, and all the athletic directors. All right, first we have Molly Brill. Walk through and shake their hand. Kira Brown. Ashlyn Cox. Jeanette Mahirwa. Aline Perusi. Juliana Robinson Young. Lily Rupp. Shai Stalls. Michaela Valentine. Miguel Victor. And Ramaya Warren.
All right, next we have another girls basketball team. They shared the championship this year, so Wagaman Elks.
Hi, my name is Alexandria Hudson, and I am the proud coach of the Lady Wagaman Elks. Alongside of me, I have Coach Randy. Starting off, we have Janae Metler, Shania Casey, Samaya Averett, Jamira West, and Jamara West.
All right, next we have our 7th grade boys basketball champions, again, Wagaman Elks.
How everyone doing? My name is Davion Lane, and first we have Anthony Baldwin, D'Angelo Kemp Jr., Jayshawn Riley, Lloyd Gilbert Jr., Justin Lord, Tion Pounds, Keelan Lee, and J-Ron Williams.
That's perfect. All right. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
All right, now our last champion we have here tonight is our 8th grade boys basketball team, Wagaman Elks.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Deshaun Rowley. First and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for being here. Also, I'm thankful to be able to be these young men's coach. Man, we had a lot of ups and downs this season. You know, we didn't define our season of losses and wins, but we defined them on their character, what they did outside, up on the basketball court and in the classroom. This group, none of them had to go to study tables. They had a grade point average of 3.0 the whole year. So can we clap them up for that? All right, first up we got, give me 1 second, Si. I don't know. I be having so much in my mind. We got Kanan Roberts, but he's not here today. We got Nazir White. Just call their name. Okay, we got Nazir White. I do got a stick with legs. Just go right there, my bad. We got Josiah Garrett, Kellen Moore, Devontae Phillips, William Cooley Jr., and Deshaun Rowley Jr. Appreciate y'all.
Okay, now board members find the gaps. I need the board to step Okay, there we go. I was gonna say Dr. Bailey. There you go. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right, we want to apologize. We do have students that play multiple sports, so we are a little spotty with this next section. So Dunbar, I do want to highlight that Coach Booker had another student athlete for indoor track. Davion Young, he got the state champion for the 110 hurdles for indoor track. And he also placed in the 60-meter hurdle at the Nationals. So good job to him. The next champions I want to recognize, Dunbar wrestling team, Marcus Wright Jr. and Kyle Jones were the coaches. Again, these student athletes are playing other sports, but we want to recognize them as champions. And then the last Dunbar team, I want to bring up Coach Dixon. He is in the house today. His kids are playing AAU ball and things like that too, but he is here, I think, with one of his members. So.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, board, Dr. Lawrence, Ms. Jones. This year was I say solid year. We started off getting counted out, and we finished strong and ended up winning city. So I take the hats off to the guys. I got guys playing running track, volleyball, AAU basketball, and job. So I got one student here, Jace Allen. He came to us from Jefferson. He was a transfer. He had to sit the second 11, but he stayed with us the whole season, and he got better, and he made us better. And he's big part of the reason why we were successful towards the end of the year. So, Jace Allen.
What school did you coach at? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, we're gonna let Mr. Eddie Davis, principal of Meadowdale High School, come up in place of Chad Miller.
Good evening, everyone. I'm up here in the place of Coach Chad Miller and also Coach Antoine Derrick. They're currently at the Trotwood Relays right now. Actually, Coach Derrick is actually at a softball game right now against opponents up at Meadowdale, and Coach Chad is at Trotwood for the Relays. So Mrs. Thompson and I, we floating everywhere right now. 2 softball games, baseball game, plus track, and we're down here. As soon as we leave here, we're going back out that way. So, again, just want to speak on some highlights. We don't have any of our athletes that are currently here right now. Some of them, majority of them run track, and between track and softball, that's where they are. They are multi-sport athletes, student athletes, so they're involved. We had a really good season. I felt girls worked really, really, truly hard throughout the season, and Coach Chad had the pleasure of having a lot of the girls, for the last 4 years. Z was our Penn Station Athlete of the Month for April, which was huge, so big, shout out to her family, along with the Deca family as well, who we also partner with, with athletes there. And we didn't do as well as we wanted to do it in the tournament, but again, like I said, it was overall a successful season, back-to-back city championships at the Meadowdale High School. So we want to say thank you all for this recognition.
Okay, on behalf of Intramurals, I'd like to thank Coach Bailey and Mike Triola for the outstanding job that they did this year with Intramurals, and also the intramural leaders as well. But we did have one champion, and right now they couldn't be here because they're practicing for our upcoming event, which is the track and field. So they couldn't make it today for that reason, but we would like to acknowledge Valerie Elementary as the intramural champions. Okay, and we have one more guest. Is that the best for last? It is, sir. Okay. We would like to welcome Thurgood Marshall.
Wow, I'm nervous. I'm usually never nervous. All right, but again, it is a pleasure to be here. Superintendent, board members, Chief A.D. Jones, all the athletic representation here, and I guess and you, the public, because this is on television. I'm Coach Wolf, head girls basketball coach for your 3-time City League champions, Thurgood Marshall Lady Cougars. I'm accompanied by our fantastic, amazing principal, Miss Shava Lewis. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she puts up with me, but she gets it done somehow. So as you know, we are here for the 3rd time, and we'll just make this an annual thing. We'll see you next year. We kind of get used to that, getting used to this, but it is a pleasure. It really is. And I'm going to, we had a fantastic year. We made school history. We not only won our league for 3 times, but we made it to the district finals. The first time had never been done in school history. And if record serves me correctly, this was the first time a Dayton Public School made it to the districts all the way since back in one of Coach Pullen's teams. I believe he told me it was 2001, something like that. Something like that. Don't quote me on that. But it was one of the Dunbar teams. But however, so I'll introduce these champions as they need to be referred to, because not only do they play like champions, they are student champions inside the building of Thurgood Marshall, and my principal will attest to that. They are not just leaders on the court, they are leaders in the classroom, but that's the easy part. They are leaders in the hallways. They are leaders in the lunchroom. They are leaders before school. They are leaders after school. And I can't tell you how proud I am. This is year 5 for me at Thurgood Marshall, and I am so proud of this group because it's a lot to be a student athlete in today's time. It's a lot. There's so many things pulling and tagging at you to do something else other than stay after school for study table and practice. So yes, I'm gonna go on a tangent, and I'm gonna make sure that needs to be said. They could be doing something else other than being a student athlete. And so I am so very, very proud of them for that dedication. With that being said, so just come on up. I have freshman Lamaria Ross. Some are not here, as some of our other representatives told you. I just pulled some off flag football practice, and some of them had track meets, so we have some people who are not here. So also freshman Kalisha Burrow. Freshman Diamond Dimmons. Freshman Nina Heath Bass. Not present, junior Gabrielle Kirk. Sophomore Gabby Kirk, she's not here. Junior Joselle Ramey. JoJo. Not present, also junior Tatiana Wilbur. Senior, headed to the Central State University, Morgan Postel. Oh, yeah, she wants everybody to look at her toes. She just got her toes done. Senior, Kimora Patterson. Not present, but headed to Jackson Community College in Michigan, Raven McCray. Not present, she's right now at Trotwood, winning the 100 and the 200 for us. Samara Gibson, she's headed to Central State University. And also, last but not least, headed to Central State University, Michaela Williams. That was the last players. I want to just take this quick moment. I want to recognize the hard work and assistant coaches that I have that really make this stuff go out. I'm the one y'all just see up doing all the ranting and raving. Sakia Prude, she couldn't get off work. Sakia Mousy Prude, and also my ride or die right there, Coach Rasan Price. I give you the Thurgood Marshall City League champions. I'll turn it over to Ms. Lewis.
I don't have much to say at all, except for I'm just so proud of the amazing job these ladies have done. As he said it all. They are students on and off the basketball court. Every time we see them, they're amazing. They go volunteer at the elementary schools. We have some of the students in the morning helping us collect the phones. They're just role models and leaders on and off the court. So proud of the amazing job they've done. in school and this season.
Do you have some? Excusez-moi, c'est passe.
Thank you, everyone. And once again, I want to thank everyone that came out. Thank all of our players and coaches and the parents and the athletic directors and people in the buildings that help them. I think it's really awesome to honor our students and all their achievements athletically, academically, extracurricular things that they do. So I appreciate our district for taking the time out for doing those things. Moving on, we have the hearing of bargaining units. Good. Do we have any bargaining units present that would wish to speak? Okay. I do not see any. I'll move to hearing of the public. Madam Treasurer, do we have anybody registered to speak?
No.
No? See, there are none. Next, I will move on to superintendent recommendations.
Thanks, President Smith. I recommend the approval of the following superintendent recommendations, human resources, for a vote.
My screen was refreshing. All right, now, do you say this was for a vote?
Yep.
It is not listed.
It doesn't say.
It should be.
Well, it says on top of the attached, when you click on it, it says on top.
All right.
It's very small writing.
I see it there. Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Do we have any questions? Mr. Walker?
Just two, and the first one is on Math Olympics. So Math Olympics advisor, they're different amounts.
What numbers are you on?
It's various, so from 34 to 36 is an amount, 40 to 42 is an amount.
They range from 400 to 500.
Gotcha.
Nope, one is as high as $960.
Right, so in some cases, the supplemental is split between two people. In others, the Math Olympics position is paid based on the number of sessions attended, completion rate, if you will.
Okay, thank you. And then my last question was on athletics. So does the Chief Jones leave? Is each sport supplemental different amounts?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that intentional?
Really, it's around, I think, the number of athletes. Number of athletes.
Huh. Okay. But and I'm just curious of this. So boys basketball, you're looking at all three into one. And then if you have baseball, for instance, boys basketball, I think is like $9,000, $8,000, whereas boys baseball, which is still maybe 3 teams, is only $2,500.
Boys basketball, you figure like the head coach, he essentially is seen as a coach for all 3. He's almost like the manager for the reserve coach and freshmen, and you're talking about as many as 45 kids and as many as 20, 25 games.
Okay. That is all that I have.
Anyone else? Dr. Goodwin.
Yes, I'd be interested. Did we get an exit interview on the number 1 and number 2, Dr.?
Yes. Number 1 and number 2, yes.
And number 2, I believe we saw earlier that the principal retired, so we'll be looking at a whole new staff at Rivers Edge next year?
We will.
Okay, and this is the individual too that came from Kaiser, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
So-
We'll be looking at a whole new staff. Our plan is to bring back Meg Thomas, if the board agrees, as a consultant for that year to help in the transition, and also to ensure that the new principal has some incoming credentials in Montessori. We've had several applications and none have had Montessori background, so we've not interviewed anyone yet.
Okay, can I have a copy of the exit interview for number 2? I mean, I just hope that when we move forward, when people get hired for positions, because I believe this person was at Kaiser initially, and it was a whole thing about them reaching out and being a first-year principal over there, but I just hope that we retain individuals by honoring their contracts initially of the schools that they're placed at for the year. I mean, it's just a loss to see we had a person come to our district that's leaving already, not suddenly, but going on to somewhere else. So just that little trust piece is really important with people in the workplace. That's all.
Mr. Walker?
Final question. With regards to the consultant piece, I know that we have the principal coaches. Can I get a copy of what that looks like? I think the district, prior to me being elected, had bought some of them on. That's earlier September. But what does that actually look like for principals and an update on that piece?
We brought 4 of them on for 2 secondary and 2 elementary. I think that's it, or 1 secondary, 3 elementary. But yes, we can absolutely get you some feedback on their progress and what we asked them to do.
Thank you.
All right.
Dr. Goodwin?
Yeah, I just have the request of when we fill these positions back, I just don't want us to run into what we ran into last year where we as a board didn't vote for the assistant principals because the principals didn't have input on who they were bringing in. And I just hope this cycle around that is remembered to allow them to be a part of that process since it is a person who works closely with them as we fill some positions moving forward.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
This summer substitute custodian piece? I don't see where anyone's being hired on. I just want to make sure I know last year and previous years, the youth workers actually made more than the staff that Dayton Public actually employs. So is this more than that or still less than that?
The Youth Works custodians, they're paid by the county. We have acknowledged the disparity in pay, and so we've requested to bring it up to the requested amount now, which is what our sub-custodians currently make. And the reason that we've asked for that is to make it a little bit more comparable. We could not raise it higher because they'd be making more than a substitute custodian and knocking on the door of an actual first-year assistant custodian.
Okay, so this is for the summer support staff for departments that end up working for custodial for the summer. I guess, so is this still less than what the youth workers will make essentially?
My understanding And I can verify and double check. I believe last year, the number I heard was around $15.
Yeah.
And this is as close to it as we could get without impeding on our bargaining unit contract.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have a follow-up with that, Mr. Walker? Okay, Dr. Goodwin?
This question is for the treasurer more so. The individuals that are resigning and retiring, I did receive some complaints from some individuals who have resigned from our district about the payout of their leave balance or whatever was owed to them. What's the timeline for individuals who do get payouts from us?
One pay after their last pay.
Okay. Can we look into making sure that not only individuals who we have accepted their resignation or retirements, that one pay period is actually happening and planning future? Because, I mean,
It is happening.
I can
Okay.
send you some I'll send you an email on one of the individuals who's reached out that it's been over 30 days since that they've left and they haven't received their payout. So I'll send that over to you, but just making sure, looking forward to these people. It's just
Yeah.
one more hassle to keep coming back asking for things that they've
No.
earned and they should have.
The reason why there is a delay, one pay, is we have to make sure they didn't take leave for their last pay.
No, I
So,
completely agree with that. Just,
Yeah.
if you're saying it's one pay is less than 30 days. And I just want to make sure that
okay,
even at the end of the cycle with people who are in our district, we're treating them fairly.
okay.
Anyone else? All right, I did have a question. Looking at, maybe for HR, don't see Chief Jones here, for coaches, and they have what percentage, or is there a percentage that they get stepped up each year, Dr. Lawrence?
Yeah, it's typically if they're teachers based on their salary, and if there's a coach, it's part of the pay cycle.
Uh-huh. So then my question would be, when we get a coach and say they're here X amount of years, and because of not having students to play a season or different reasons they do not coach a season, and then they coach the next season, where do they start off? Do they go back to that beginning step, or are they put back to where they were?
To me, that's like a teacher who leaves to go on sabbatical. We don't put them back. We bring them back to where they were, or whatever that next step was if we've had a pay raise. So if that's happened, I would imagine that we'll look into that. It should be the same.
Okay. And then secondly, I would ask to vote separately on number 70. And that would be it. Are there any other questions?
Number 7 separately as well.
So 7 and 70
Yes.
Do you know 70? Okay.
sparingly. Any other questions? All right, can we vote? This vote will be for everything except for 7 and 70. May we have a vote, Madam Treasurer?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Abstain?
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
One abstain, 7 yeses.
Now, on 7, any other questions? Follow up? Not. May we have a vote? This is on line item number 7.
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Abstain?
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Abstain.
okay, Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
2 abstain and 6 yeses.
And finally, number 70. May we have a vote?
Okay. President Smith,
Abstain.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacey,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
1 abstain and 7 yeses.
Okay, thank you. Your next recommendation, Dr. Lawrence.
I'd like the board to take a look at contracts for review, and we'll take questions.
Any questions on contracts? Give a moment to look over. Once around again. Any questions? Did you have a question, sir?
Yeah, so the athletic trainers.
All right.
What is how sure are we of this actually happening?
We are positive that this will happen if we pass this contract next week. Premier has already invested in trainers. We've already spent $150,000 for Go for, it's called Go.
The Uber
trainers. And so we spent 101 with them, and then another 39, 40 with Five Rivers for doctors. And you know, we want to get a set of trainers that we know are going to be here. We were in the news several times last year in the fall because we didn't have trainers, and it's dangerous. And so we're almost positive that we can secure these, Board Member Walker.
So what's the difference between this and then, because each school has their own trainer now, right?
No, we are contracting with someone to go find trainers for schools.
Okay, and so last year, if I'm not mistaken, the agreement was supposed to be with Premier, and then it did not happen. So now Premier's back at the table yet again.
What happened was we had an agreement with Kettering for years. It might have been almost 15 years. And when that agreement ended, in that transition, there were no trainers. Premier said, "Hey, we found out. You told us too late. We can't go out and get trainers just like that." And so they came back to Premier. Actually, came back to the table and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to make sure you get trainers this year." This discussion probably started 4 or 5 months ago with Chief Jones. Myself, and then Business Manager Powell was pulled in, and then now we have a relationship with them, and they are contracting for the next 3 years. I think it might be a total of 7 or 8 total, but the first 3 before we have to renew. And so you're looking at the first of 3 years.
So the first of 3 years will cost $382,000.
Yeah, that's 6 trainers plus a supervisor.
Okay. I personally do not feel confident in it, so next week I will vote no on it.
Understood.
Dr. Goodwin?
I have a couple questions. For the Thurgood CV events, what is the actual amount covering? Is this like catering, or is this like a fee we had to pay for this? I'm just kind of interested on how our community reinvestment agreement is working with the arcade and what we're actually paying for on what a school actually
I
has
got
to
you.
take
What
on.
they gave us,
What they
and then
gave
what
us and
we
what we
paid
paid.
in addition to that.
Correct.
Got you. I don't know what that covers. I'd have to get back with you. I have to ask Ms. Lewis.
You're saying there's a contract on board docs? There is nothing on my side. We just have a list. That's one.
Well, one thing is it's not paid with general fund. So that isn't student managed student activity fund, isn't that pretty much raised by the students?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, what are they paying for? Yeah, that's pretty much, like, what is
Okay.
it typically cost when we do, our students do, or some activity takes advantage of some of these agreements that we have?
No problem. We'll let you know.
All right, second, on to the athletic trainer's contract here. So my question, because this is something that we were working on negotiating into another agreement. I'm interested in what happened at that point to the negotiations for Premier specifically, because they want to benefit from us. And then what this amount represents in relationship to the benefit that we are going to forego in the on-main type agreement.
So, as I understand it, when I read the contracts and looked at the language back and forth and listened to Frost Brown Todd, our legal team, is that this was not something that was going to be kept in the agreement in terms of our counteroffer. So since it was taken out, we had been working on getting trainers for a while, and so we said, hey, we're going to put this on and have it reviewed by the board and have a discussion.
Okay, and this was the most tangible of that agreement to what I recall, and someone correct me if I'm incorrect, I believe aside from job fairs, this was like the biggest, or the only benefit that would have been some type of financial gain to us to reduce the loss of revenue or income that we would have gotten.
Yeah, it was just job fairs.
Okay. And then on top of that, how is the performance of, actually, comparative to other schools, so 6 other schools, what is do you guys, or have we looked at what other schools are paying for Premier to be in them, since they're in every school except for us right now?
Yeah, Ms. Powell looked into that, and the rate we have is a rate that's typical of the rates for other schools.
Can we get a copy of what those rates are?
Sure.
Can you just give me something right now of what that is? If he said you looked into it already. Okay, so you don't have it? Okay. So how's the current company performing? So you said we spent $150,000 on the Gopher, even though
They go for 101 and about 39,000 on Five Rivers.
and that's from the time that we approved it in October to now? Because
That's
PO
correct. And
was
you
about
approved,
650?
approved for up to 500,000.
It's about 600,000. You know.
Okay.
And what's their performance been for us? Do we have any idea? Like, is it good? Is it bad?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to ask Chief Jones.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I kind of need the answers to those questions, just specifically on how this is comparative to the other schools around us. The actual agreement, if we can have a copy of what that agreement is, because this is for 3 years.
Yes. But there's a total of, I want to say, 7 or 8 years total where we project out what it's going to cost. But we'll certainly get that to you.
And what's the price point? You said 7 to 8 years. What's the price point difference between years 3 to the other ones that aren't represented on here? Like, is there an increase?
I can just give you the first 3, something like 387 total for the first one. 382, then 390, and then somewhere around 405, 6, something like that. But I will send it to you.
All right. Okay, next question. What is the service that is coming from Mount St. Joseph University?
So we're offering them an opportunity to use our space so that we can develop clinical OT-PTs, and it's kind of like student teachers, and hopefully through that experience they'll work with us.
Okay. And the training from Power Schools that is going on in the HR, my first question is, what is the status of, I know we were soliciting for a chief of HR, that's first, and then second, what is this?
Okay, the first is I saw an email today, and you and Board Member Walker and Board Member Wick and 6 or 7 of us are convening for the final 3 candidates for Chief of HR. And then Power School is training that's got to occur while we work through changing systems or looking for systems that are viable to bring to the district.
So is it training for an existing system, or is it training
Yes,
for some other system?
training for an existing system.
Okay, so Power Schools is an existing system that they're utilizing, and what's the function of it? Oh, you sat back down. I thought you was over there. I thought you went to grab a pen or something.
So we use Power School Business Plus to onboard, keep track of all of our employees' documentation, onboarding forms. We also use it to push information to the Treasurer's Department for payroll.
Okay. Thank you for that. Question for the treasurer now. What's the update on the payroll process that was requested in February? I know there was one meeting with one company. Have you guys looked into other companies? Is there a follow-up? What's going on?
We discussed it with Paycor, and there is a follow-up discussion with Paycor. Others, I haven't.
Okay, are we looking at other companies at all?
I am not right now.
All right, that's all I got.
Any other questions on contracts? I did have a couple questions around trainers. My question is, in this agreement, what is the penalty if at any time we weren't able to have 6 trainers? My question being, because that was something we also ran into at the end of our agreement with Kettering, as that was coming to a close, we started having issues where they were saying that they didn't have trainers to cover events. You know, we went from having the 6 at the schools to having, 4 and then a couple subs rotating, things like that. Do we have any protections inside? And if not, that would be a concern. I think that we should have some kind of protections to make sure that we don't get into a situation where someone then just says, hey, we thought we would have 6, we can give you 4. Because that's something that we've seen happen to our district. And then I would also want to see not only that comparison of what other districts are paying, but I think what districts with multiple schools pay. 'Cause I think that's also a difference between a district that has one or 2 varsity programs, 3 varsity programs per season, than a district like ours where we're running 6 programs, 6 schools running multiple programs. What does that look like? So I think those are questions on that one. And I think that is it for me on that. If there are no further, Dr. Goodwin's got something?
I just have one. So even though both Kettering and Premier weren't able to assist us last year, have we even reached out to Kettering itself to see what their price would have been or where they are, since we're in another thing, just to make, we're trying to make sure we get the best bang for our buck here.
Sure, I'd have to ask Chief Jones.
Let me ask the business manager, do you know? Okay, if we haven't reached out to Kettering, can we reach out to Kettering, since they're the other entity that does work in this area? Because
Sure.
their situation may have changed in a year, the same way Premier's has changed in a year.
Sure.
Think Mr. Walker has something?
I do not.
Wow, Mr. Walker. You gave me that I had a question face, Mr. Walker.
Dr. Goodwine took it and got it together for me.
Oh, count on Dr. Goodwin to get you together, Walker. Ms. Wick?
Thank you. When we started the project to redo Welcome Stadium, the football field was named Kettering Health Network. A lot of our previous relationship in the world of athletic trainers existed in that because it was predominantly, we had an agreement with them. So I think we're entering a new space and time with this training piece from a lot of perspectives. One is that we're facing higher costs, shortage of people, those sorts of things. So I think that there's good reflection here in asking for additional maybe trainers or what that looks like. But in the past, just for a little bit of history for Mr. Walker, it was Kettering Health Field, and there was space in there where there was a negotiation where they provided so many trainers per year, and it was in lieu of like name services, those sorts of things. So I just wanted a little bit of history there.
I appreciate it, yeah, and I'm aware of it, as well as Trotwood Madison Stadium is named after Premier Health now, after Good Sound closing and things like that. I think my biggest takeaway was Premier has wants something financial but isn't offering anything in return. So I would be interested again to see what Kettering comes to the table says. And then if Kettering matches what Premier has, then which one? Why are we stuck on Premier? Would be my other question.
And we'll go to Dr. Bailey.
Thank you.
Then Dr. Goodwin.
Thank you. So I'm looking at this one, this 380,000, 382,000. Do we give this to them in a lump sum? Or is this something that is allotted for the trainers up to that amount?
I'd have to ask the treasurer how we pay that out.
Okay, because I was just thinking about if you said that they kind of dropped the ball last year with Kettering, did we get any of that money back if we paid a lump sum? And I'd like to know if we do that this year, if it's a lump sum and they don't hold up to the contract, do we get any of that money back? So that's all I want to know.
I will check and I'll let you know.
Okay.
But I don't know right now.
Before I go to Dr. Goodwin, I think one of the things there, and it would be good to look into, with the Kettering, we weren't giving them a lump sum, we were giving them the naming rights. So that's kind of how it was with the providing services, was for them to have their name on the stadium. And I think a lot of that falling off was towards the end of that piece, where was a deal, that was the deal to have the naming rights of the stadium. So we weren't paying them for the trainers. So that was that piece, but I definitely think that protection piece is key. Dr. Goodwin?
Yeah, just adding on to the history of the limited, I know Kettering got the naming, and this was from the last Welcome Stadium agreement. They got the naming rights, and they also paid us, I think it was like
$100,000.
$100,000 a year, and that was a part of the sponsorship essentially that you have from that one. But when we redid the stadium itself, and we were going in the next part, their leadership was in transition, and the individuals who had made, I believe, that agreement 5 years prior were no longer the individuals. Actually, they had shifted when we started these type of things here. So you had all these things that occurred where the agreement ended, the leadership changed on their side, and they were in flux of coming, I believe that was 2 years after COVID at that point right there. So when you put all those factors in play here, they weren't able to do anything farther with us because, I mean, similar to, as Premier stated, their workflow first had changed a bit. For me, with the exception of the last year of the contract, they sounded like they were good partners and they worked well with us and they did provide a need up until that last year. Premier, on the other hand, I have no history with Premier aside from them not talking to us, or not talking to us, but not being able to do anything. Like they couldn't cover all six and they couldn't do anything for us. And it was just a little discouraging knowing that every school around us had some touch of Premier in it. And to see when we were in dire need, because we literally had kids getting hurt, I applaud Fine Rivers for stepping up. Applaud the doctors over there who were able to step up, and even the company that Chief Jones was able to find for us to help us in that piece right there. So it's kind of that piece was more like Kettering has put more, not only financially into us, they put time into us. Premier, I haven't seen what they put into us yet, but I've only been here, this is my 3rd year. So it's that little bit of mistrust of knowing that they're asking us for a tax abatement, but also charging us what sounds like the same price as everyone around us gives me pause, because I go, this isn't a partnership here you're taking and not helping, and you know that we need these type of things because we have more of a need based on our situation and the amount of kids we have. So just adding that little piece of the whole transition from Kettering to Gopher, which I really would like to know what the performance is of that company and what they've met, because from October to now, it sounds like they're still at a better price point. I do want to know what schools were covered and weren't covered in that piece and all that. But just that whole, it's not a smooth path forward, knowing that when we needed you, you weren't there for us.
Any other questions? Your next recommendation?
Marty, could you come up? And to bring the board's attention to consultants for review. And just if you could speak to the Revival Center Ministries
Yes,
consultant contract. Thanks.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. Lawrence, Board President Smith, and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to share about the partnership with Revival Center Ministries, who will be serving as an enrichment, providing enrichment supports to our McKinney-Vento or unhoused children. They have been a partner with the district for many years. They also currently have the 21st Century Grant serving Westwood Elementary School and have been doing it for many years, providing supports through the three components of 21st Century, meaning family, community engagement, academic support, as well as health and wellness and nutrition for the children. And so we're excited about them we're able to provide full day services in the summer for our most vulnerable population, whether it be the arts, athletics, special performances, all type of field experiences and activities that we want to bring to our students. And it, as you can see with the dates, it starts right at the beginning of the summer and goes all the way through the end of July. And we look forward to, I know Director Graham is here, and in May or June, whatever the board would like, all the 21st Century partners can share what they plan to do and how they plan to service our students in the community.
Mr. Walker?
So, a couple questions. Number one, I see it's coming out of ESSER's. Why can it not come out of McKinley-Vento Fund?
We definitely could, I'll let Ms. Graham come, explain.
Good evening, President Smith, Dr. Lawrence, board members. It is coming out of McKinney-Vento funds. It's the ARP homeless funds that this is being paid from.
Yeah, on here it says ESSER's.
Then that would be a typo. It's ARP homeless.
Okay.
The Fund 507 is ESSER. It's also ARP homeless 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, and my next question is, how was Revival Center chosen, and what's their actual data and success for their program they operate now with the 21st Century to know that this is a good fit?
Well, for one, we actually went out for quotes. So Revival Center Ministries had the best programming at the best price. What I will say about Revival Center Ministries, they came in at a time where we had to sever a relationship with Westwood partner to provide 21st Century. They were able to step in, and they have been providing great programming, great opportunities for students at Westwood. They have previously worked with the McKinney-Vento program, so that was a relationship that was already established. And after we read the proposals, they had the best bang for our buck, so to speak.
Okay, so for me, I would like to see the data that backs that up as far as their program in Westwood and students actually moving academically and things like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Bailey?
Yeah, who oversees all of this? Is it you or some, and goes out to make sure that everything is being done?
Yes, and then also we have our McKinney-Vento staff that oversees it as well, so it's a team effort.
Okay.
Dr. Gilmore?
Yes. Can I actually have, so we're in about April right now. Can we get a update on just kind of how some of the consultant contracts are performing and what matrix they're being measured by? Also, I do know in the past 2 years that we do the summer programs with multiple entities. And if we can have some data, again, how those are going, how they performed in the past, prior to them coming up for us to vote on this year, that would also be helpful. I don't know if that's y'all area or not, but I feel like somebody in the room will be able to get that information to us, just showing that the investment in these programs are at least producing something.
Yeah, we can look back at last year who's serviced summer. We'll just research it.
It's the same it's about the, probably the May board agendas in the past couple of years. Ms. Kidd would be the best point of contact.
Okay, and then
But they're
we'll
about-
look at the data and see what the trend data shows.
Yeah, and just some report out to us on kind of How many
Yeah.
people actually participated? Did people go
Yeah.
to it? Are we just throwing money places? Just like-
Attendance, performance, what's the
Yeah.
data show? Mhm.
Specifically for this.
Yeah, we do these like all the time.
Yeah, because I got another, that was my question, is how many kids have been participating at the Revival Center Ministries? If we could find that out for last year.
What's their attendance
Yeah,
been?
how many years have we been doing this?
How many
Did you
years?
say 2 or 3?
Revival Center Ministries, they're going into year 5, so we've done 4 years with them, 3 years with them, I'm sorry. The first year, maybe 4.5, because they had to come in at the end of another program and take over.
All right, so could I get, like, the attendance on how many students have been attending this every year?
Absolutely, because with our 21st century programs, we are required to have a local evaluator, so we have the data for all of our programs.
Okay, thank you.
If I could piggyback off his question, the kids that attend this program that are also in our elementary, can we just get some data on how they're performing on the tests, especially if we've been with them for 5 years now? So the ones that have either, if they've been in the program that entire time or any span of it, just kind of what their scores are coming out. Just seeing what that is for us.
And
That
we
data.
should have that comparison data, because all of our 21st century partners also work with the summer after-school collaborative with Learn to Earn, where they also participate in the learning circle, so they do a comparison to the participating students versus the non-participating students.
I love it when you say we got it, because I know when Ms. Graham give me some data, it's gonna be color-coded, it's gonna be on a long paper. They don't know what you brought to finance. They wasn't there for it, so I'm excited about that. I appreciate it.
Follow-up for me. So is this the first year the Revival Center is doing this specific program?
To my knowledge, it may be, but I can't speak about previous years.
Okay, so can I have previous years for this program as well with that, as far as who operated it in past and things like that?
If I'm able, because I don't know that it occurred in the last 2 years, so I'll have to go, we might have to go back and do some digging.
I'll wait. Thank you.
Any other questions? Appreciate you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you for what you do for our district. Next recommendation, Dr. Lawrence?
I'd like the board to take a look at the contract reopener agreement with DEA for review.
Please review.
I guess I'm just curious, so doing a reopener for this, and this percent is higher than the other contracts, does this allow them to do a reopener as well?
Higher than what other contracts?
I believe we passed some that was 2% and not 3%.
We did very few that were 2. Most of the ones we did were actually significant. They were in the dollar amount, like the SROs was $2. That was way above 3%.
Clerical was 60 cents.
Yeah.
That was my only question.
Okay,
Want the good one?
I see what we're giving, but what did we get in return for the reopener?
The reopener was just salary. There was no language for the reopener.
Okay, walk me through it again. So is this something that we're just doing? There's no language whatsoever?
It wasn't you all, I wasn't, not the
I'm just saying
superintendent,
that.
the previous
so-
superintendent.
Okay, so let's back up. You
The
said it's
previous
just
board.
salary, but then you
Mhm.
said there's no language for the reopener. So is the language the same? It's
There's
just
language,
salary?
there's language to say we're reopening this to do salary and benefits, and that's all. Salary only.
So there is language for that in the existing one, you're saying?
Yes.
In the existing DEA contract?
Yes.
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none? Next recommendation?
I'd like to bring the board's attention to resignations in E and F, resignation settlements.
All right, we'll note that there is information for the board and executive content. Please review and reach out if you do have any questions. And I will go to your next recommendation.
My next and final recommendation is just to bring the board's attention to our legal team. Frost Brown Todd won the settlement last year to retrieve our money that we had to pay for late buses and from the Ohio Department of Transportation. So I know the treasurer is excited. We got our money back.
Any questions? Seeing none? On hold for Dr. Goodwin. I got you, Dr.
The link on here doesn't open. This, not the bottom one, but the parent reimbursement list. Is that different than the executive content list?
That's the same list I saw before.
And the not to exceed amount of 123,000 is the amount that we're paying parents?
Yes. That's the amount we're paying parents. And we can get you some trend data on that too, about what we're paying now versus what we're paying the years before.
And what's the difference in amount of what we would have been fined versus what we're paying based on what you said our legal team won?
You were going to say something, Trent?
Yeah, this is not the same. This one is what we're reimbursing the parents.
Right.
I know. It's written differently than what he said, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to understand is, are these the same? similar
Okay,
things?
yeah,
Or
sorry
two
about
different
that.
things?
Sorry about that, two different things.
Okay.
Yeah, we have got our money back, but this is what we are paying parents for the schools like the Dayton Regional STEM School and places like that take their kids. And we'll get you trend data on that.
This is the in lieu of transportation reimbursement.
Yes.
I would want, my question would be for legal, what is the area for schools that have opted out and provide their own transportation? So if I'm a school that provides my own transportation, is there any legal protection for, so I go to X charter school does not use Dayton Public Schools transportation, but that parent at that school says they want to not use transportation because of state laws or anything. What is there to say that if they do that, they cannot get Dayton Public Schools?
So there's a list that comes out from transportation, and there's like an X in one column, and so we pay from that X column, but there's another column with a red D in it that says denied. And I think that is a function of the contextualization which you're giving us right now, but we'll follow up.
All right, I appreciate that. Seeing as this transportation landscape changes and people are moving, I definitely want to see how do we protect ourselves on that as well. Any other questions? Seeing none, this concludes your recommendations.
It does.
All right, Madam Treasurer.
Okay. I have a resolution. I recommend the approval of the following resolution, authorizing the purchase of competitive retail natural gas services. This was on the review last month, but it was missed from the approval. That's the reason why we would like you to approve this one.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Next recommendation?
The next one is the financial report for March, but this is a placeholder until it's reviewed by the Finance Committee on Thursday.
Okay. Next recommendation?
The next one is minutes for March 12, March 19, March 23rd.
Okay. Any questions? Seeing none, your next recommendation?
Next one is donations. We have several donations. thank you, donors. And I'll read this one. A donation from Alpha Kappa for McKinney Vento, 605. Anita Burton for McKinney Vento, cash, $50. DEA for McKinney Vento, several miscellaneous goods, worth of $600. Dayton Public Schools Operation Department for McKinney Vento, worth $175. Dayton Rotary for McKinney Vento, worth $4,829. Several items. Edible arrangement for McKinney Vento, edible arrangement worth of $89. Laura Chambers, Kirsch, and Henry Chambers for McKinney Vento, gift cards, $650. Robert and Charlotte Bechier for Meadowdale CTC, single lens reflex worth $150. Thank you, donors. Until after the approval, we'll send you a thank you letter too.
I'd like to ditto that thanks to everyone that reached out to donate to our district. It's truly appreciated. Are there any other questions, comments? Seeing none. The next recommendation, Madam Treasurer.
Next one is purchase requisitions. They are from different departments. Let's look together and we'll entertain.
Okay. Asked to review purchase requisitions. I also see Madam Business Manager coming up as well. So if you have any questions, now is the time. If you have some time to look over. I will go down to Mr. Walker, I presume.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. The Bing Davis piece, were any other artists offered the same opportunity?
So, as I transitioned in, that was a program that was an agreement that was already kind of consummated, and I just thought going forward I should honor it. I think when you come on as a new superintendent, the thing isn't to just not do or eliminate or wipe out everything from the previous administration. It doesn't mean everything was bad. I thought it was a good thing to do, the art. He had done it previously before, and so we're just honoring an agreement that was before. Good faith agreement. I think it's a good project.
But no other local artist has been offered the opportunity to showcase their work.
We've had other local artists. He's not the only one.
But he's the most recent one with the $100,000.
Yes, he's the most recent one. Actually, Ms. Goins on her way up.
The Skyscaper, excuse me, the Skyscaper project is Bing's collective of local African American artists. And it was a result of us tearing down Roosevelt. And a part of that art was to go into all of the schools, which it is. So Bing works with a collective of West Side artists to complete this project.
But it's Bing's actual artwork and not the other artists.
No. Dwayne Daniels, James Pate. Oh, yeah. A lot of local African American artists in this collective.
Okay. I just like more information on that.
I'll get you some.
Appreciate it. My next question is, I see IT furniture on here, so two questions for that would be, one, the status of the actual director of IT, and number two, where is IT going to be housed at?
Ms. Clark is on the way.
Good evening. So we conducted initial interviews today for the IT director, and we will be looking to have second round interviews in the upcoming week. As far as where IT will be housed, they will be at Jackson Center, and in reviewing how the team actually wanted their office set up, the furniture that we could find across the district did not meet that need. And so the team actually requested some specific furniture, and so this is what meets their need.
Thank you. My biggest concern with that is that we're building a department and giving them new furniture when some of our buildings still, teachers don't even have actual desks. They're using just stands as desks. So it's hard to approve something like this when we're not even meeting the need of the education that's going on in the classroom.
I understand. And so it's hard to support the need of teachers and to continue to do those things when these people will not have a desk. And I understand that a teacher may not have a desk either. However, I'm not in a building to be able to find them a desk. My job is to support IT at this point.
Well, IT is not your department, right? It's the business managers?
We work together on it, yes.
Okay. My next question was, okay, with regards to these laptops, was there a survey conducted from our previous conversation if this is something that the teachers actually want? I'll take that as a no.
Not a formal one, no.
It's a no. That's all my questions.
All right, first, I want to, just on something that was said around the housing of IT, I know we've had conversations about the usage of Jackson in the conversations that we've had around some of our new offerings next year educationally, namely the idea around the alternative school. Dr. Lawrence, are we still looking at Jackson as a possible site for that?
We're looking at multiple alternatives. We're ready to present next Tuesday our plans for the alternative school, and we think that once we get the programming down, it's going to be a 3-phase process: programming first, then 2 phases of construction. So we'll be ready to present next week. And also, Shelley Dinsmore's team, along with some other folks in the academics, are meeting regularly to work through the alternative school.
Okay, I would ask that while we're looking at these things, being mindful of that as we kind of prepare, move money, move things around. I wouldn't want to get into a situation where we then spend more money because we've locked in ourselves somewhere else too, or locked in departments in a building. So knowing that that's one of our buildings that we have, similar to how we're able to do what we are doing at Residence Park because we utilize the building we had. So appreciate that.
Follow up.
All right.
Turn.
My bad. I just wanted to.
Mike, we talked about this.
I just wanted to update on Mountain Street. I mean, you have classrooms that are in hallways, so the basement level, any update of when they will actually be fully utilizing that building?
That's part of our presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Goodwine.
All right, couple things. First one, the replacement floors that are going to the, 7 schools, 8 schools listed. Where in the building are these floors going?
Okay, at Dunbar, I believe, that's the first building listed. We are planning to replace the carpet in the main office and the media center. At Kemp, we are planning to replace the floor in the main office with new carpet, media center, some offices, and there is an elevated step platform in the open area in the pre-K wing that will also get replaced. At Ruskin, again, replacing the carpet in the media center, the music rooms, we are replacing the floor in the pre-K and K rooms with the Nora Brand flooring. That is a flooring we've introduced this past year at a couple of buildings. New walk-off carpet at select entrances, and specifically the back hallway by the gym, the entrance into the pre-K rooms, and then there's a entrance that goes, or an exit that goes out to the playground. That will all get replaced with walk-off carpet. At Thurgood, the media center and main office, again, going back with the Nora flooring and the pods on the first and second floors. We did a partial classroom replacement a couple of years ago. We will replace the carpet in the rooms that did not get done at that time. And then again, walk-off carpet at select entrances. At Valerie, we are replacing the floor in the media center with new carpet. At Westwood, we are again doing carpet in the main office and media center. Some other select offices here and there throughout the building. The pre-K rooms will receive the Nora flooring. The music room will get carpet, and Nora flooring will go in what we call the dance studio there off of the cafeteria. Wagaman, again, main office, media center, music rooms, new carpet. In the back hallway, the carpeted rooms will get replaced with Nora, and there is still some sheet vinyl left in the pods that will also get replaced with the Nora.
Okay, thank you for that. Question on the 2 or the 1.5 Montessori schools. I know we did the replacement of the carpet, was it last year at River's Edge?
Yes.
And just kind of the condition of it, because I know that those programs use floor more than just walking, like the other programs do. And then I'm not sure what the condition is of the carpet at the international school for the section that is the Montessori side. Do you have any, I don't know what it is. Does that also need to be addressed, knowing that they utilize the floors more for their coursework as well? That's kind of my question.
That is something that we can take a look at. When we went through and identified River's Edge as needing the flooring, the carpet replaced, it was because of the Montessori programming. And so that's why we went ahead and did that full building. The other buildings, as we move on, we're looking at the need, which we will include the international school as we move forward. Just, you can only clean the carpet so many times. There's so many, similar to your house, periodically you need to replace, and it's time. So we went through and we identified what we felt were the most needed areas. Some of your presentation spaces. We did a presentation last year at Dunbar in the Media Center, and it was a huge event with Mr. Edwin C. Moses. And, that I was disappointed in the way that carpet looked, just to bring somebody into the district. So, as we're moving through the spaces in the different buildings, we're identifying these places where we can get the biggest bang for our buck.
Okay, thank you for that. Next question is more on the University of Dayton tuition for the urban leadership. And is this multiple individuals, or is this just one person?
Multiple individuals. There's a cohort.
And will these individuals also, similar to the policy that we passed, I'm not sure, are these DEA members, or are these union members or non-union members?
Some of both.
So will they also have the commitment to either stay with us for I don't know if it was a year or 2 years, or pay the amount back because we're investing in this piece?
I don't know the answer to that question as it relates to the folks who are DEA folks, so I have to follow up.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, definitely want to find that
Yeah.
out, because as much as I want to invest in individuals, I want them to stay with us.
Yeah, you do
To
talk
at
about
least
investing
get
in
some
folks.
type of
We're
return
getting
on it.
Yes, we'll follow up on the DA folks, and we're getting ready to ask the board for an even more significant investment in non-certified teachers, so beyond the 5,000.
Okay, had a couple on the replacement of the outdated computers in the cosmetology program at Ponent. Is that where this is? My question, it's not necessarily about this one, but I do believe, I recall last year, just speaking about, I know they do some services that are external to our community members, but they don't operate on dated, or they operate on dated technology, meaning it's very hard to actually, for the cosmetology program specifically, to actually schedule an appointment to be able to go there. Has that been, actually, I don't see it on the website, so I'm gonna guess it hasn't been remedied. Can that be remedied to make that process just a little bit more easy, to give them more individuals from external places to come in and like sit in that after-school program?
The curriculum, IT, and operations departments will get together and check into that.
Right. I had a question on the under 15,000, unless somebody else wanted to go.
I would like to go.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Nichols.
I want to know about the Wi-Fi issue. I know previously we did have Wi-Fi at Welcome Stadium. Is there a specific reason why we need an update to it?
The Wi-Fi at the stadium only covers a small portion of the building itself, of the envelope itself. This increases the amount of space where we have Wi-Fi access. And this is a need, especially for us hosting the state track meet. We want to make sure all of the judges and media and whatnot has access to, they have the ability to report, the times, the scores, and whatnot. So this increases the space, the coverage of what areas have Wi-Fi at Welcome.
How long would this be there, be available, the Wi-Fi?
This will be permanent.
Okay. I had another question about the Ford Next Generation. Have we have any practice on that material specifically?
On which one?
It's under participants, the implementation of the Ford Next Generation.
I've sent some information to the full board 2 weeks ago. And we're planning on presenting soon.
Go to Mr. Lacy and then back to Dr. Goodwin.
And I forget, what is Fund 13?
That's Welcome Stadium.
So that's a capital project.
For Welcome
For
Stadium.
Welcome Stadium, yeah, to build, that's the money to build Welcome Stadium. So we're paying electricity?
Yeah, that's
That's
should
the
come
electricity to build it or something? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You have to go to the mic.
It's
It's
Welcome
just the
Stadium.
operating fund?
For
But we
Welcome
built it with 13 too.
Yes.
Okay, so it's all put together.
Yeah.
But, and the source of the enterprise fund is basically,
Welcome Stadium.
well, so that you're paying, well, when you say that, you're making us think that all this money came from revenues for Welcome Stadium, and I don't think
No,
that. No,
it's
I know
not.
that's not the case. So this basically came from general fund.
The general fund and ESSERS.
And ESSERS,
When we
okay.
build it, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Dr. Goodwin?
Thank you. In the under 15,000, just had a couple questions. The 2 laptops for data manipulation, what departments are those being utilized in?
The 2 will be in accountability because of the use of Tableau Prep. It occupies so much space whenever we are trying to use data that or manipulate the data, that we actually lock up our systems very frequently.
Okay, can I ask, so this is, the ones that are on the, for us to vote on are Dells, and these are not Dells. Is there a reason why you guys are going with different models? I thought the Dells were supposed to be better.
So we went with what was recommended by our IT department as to what our computing needs were specifically for the data manipulation side.
Okay, did they also recommend the Dell ones for
They
on a
did.
similar thing here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's good to see so many people are going on trips with the charter buses. Is Buckeye our preferred choice, or is this like the only source that we have?
They're one of the only sources that we have that can respond, one, quickly, and two, with the amount of buses that we need. That's a service, there just aren't a lot of services.
Okay, and I guess my final question for you, you mentioned when President Smith talked about the alternative school, which, to my understanding, the primary choice is Jackson. What are the other options? And I'm interested because I see some interior work being done at Jackson for some other things here, but what are the other options that are possibilities?
Another option is Mound Street, and also we're looking at some other properties as well.
Outside of, okay, so that's a Tuesday conversation on that one. I'll just say that for Tuesday. The security cameras that are on here from Mound Street, has there been like a increase in some type of activities? Or what warranted adding in additional cameras?
When we acquired the building, there are a set of systems and whatnot, and that need to be upgraded. Adding the cameras is part of that.
So is this completely replacing their cameras, or are these add-ons to what's existing there?
My understanding is it's in addition to. I will need to check further with Chief Wright if it's replacing a camera for another camera that's more compatible with our system.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I got one more.
Dr. Goodwin?
The Roosevelt Bear that's being restored, what's the protection of, after the restoration occur, of how we're gonna make sure that it's not easily damaged?
There will be a case that's built surrounding it, and then it will be returned home to the stadium.
Okay. That's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Any last questions? Seeing none, thank you, ladies, both. Appreciate what you do for our district. Madam Treasurer?
That concludes tonight's review.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Moving forward, Dr. Goodwin, do you have any policy readings?
Yes. Insomuch as the Board of Education is committed to the continuing updating of its policy, rules, and regulation manual, and the committee which was appointed has been working towards that goal, the following are brought at this time for the first reading in compliance with Board File BFC policy adoption. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Dayton City School District, Montgomery County, Ohio, hereby accepts and adopts the following policies that have been codified for inclusion in the Handbook of Policies, Rules, and Regulations. EDEA, Cloud Data Storage Policy. EDEB, Portable Device Policy. JECAA, Admission for Students Experiencing Homelessness. These policies are being read for the first time. As such, a motion or second is not required. The policies will be available in the superintendent's office for review and comments prior to the second reading and adoption by the Board of Education. Furthermore, the policies will be reviewed by the superintendent's office, the board office, and the legal department of the Dayton Public Schools prior to the second reading. And I do want to note that this is the first time this year that policies have come from other committees to come over to policies, so it's really good to see other committees doing work and looking at their stuff as well. That is all I have on policies for first readings.
Thank you, Dr. Goodwin. Any questions for Dr. Goodwin or anybody from policy? Appreciate the work. Next, new business, board member travel and expense. Recommend the approval of the following board member travel expense.
Second.
Been first and second. Motion. Any questions on the motion? As we are nearing the end of this year, Ms. Kidd, where are we at with our budget for the board travel? She's what?
We're in April, it's low.
Yeah, it is
Just know
very,
that. We're in
very,
April.
very low. So I would just ask the board to be mindful of that as we're closing out. To be mindful of that as we find some of these things that we may want to travel to make sure that we're tucking base with Ms. Kidd, because I would believe that I would go on a limb and say we might be past low, might be with that gas light is on right now. And so once we get into that point, then we actually have to then go in and ask the treasurer to send us money for the board to go out on these things. So don't want to get in trouble and don't want my hand smacked having to go over and ask. But I think also it allows us to be creative, always look to find ways to learn, bring things back to the district. And then we also can use some of our funds if we have it on our own. But just want to be mindful of that, and that way we kind of are thinking and planning out the whole year, knowing that we have that budget that ends in the middle of our year, but board members, we come on in the middle of a school year. So just want to lift that up, and also lift up our board members, eager to hear they came back from a trip, eager to hear the things that they brought back. But for this, we have no questions. May we have a vote, Madam Treasurer?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, I will go down to Brother Nichols. What you got for me, Brother Nichols? Oh, you come back to me? I don't know, I might not come back to you today, Brother Nichols. We might not get back to you. It's that metal deal, he making us look bad. Mr. Lacy?
Nothing for me today.
Mr. Walker?
Thank you, President Smith. A few things for me. Congrats to the athletics department for a well-executed All-Star weekend. Was really excited to attend that and see our student athletes engaged, as well as the community come out for that as well. Had the opportunity to go to a showcase at Edison. Got to learn some history there as well. Attended the Kemp Music Showcase as well. Kudos to transportation and all the work that you all did with that early dismissal. Got a chance to go over and sit in the dispatch and routing area. It's my favorite place to go to now. They keep it real. So love that and all them ladies over there. What I will say is since I came onto the board in January, we have constantly had this conversation around our district support specialist roles and their inadequate pay across the district. Hopefully, at some point, this district will do better and pay our staff for what they are worth. Also, I mean, some staff even contacted because they were told that they had a pickup on their SIRS, and Columbus is saying that they do not. So hopefully that can be corrected if that is the case. I will say that I also am not a fan of anyone working and receiving the same pay for 3 years straight and not getting a raise physically and waiting until their retirement. Not a fan of that at all. And my last comments would be that I'm also not a fan of staff members who apply for jobs as other staff members and are doing an evaluation of those staff members who they're potentially competing against. Hopefully at some point we would do better as a district. That's my comments.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Reiner?
I have I had the privilege of attending the National School Board Association Conference with board member Dr. Bailey. Just flew back yesterday. It was a fantastic conference. I learned a great deal. I am putting together my report for that conference to report to the board, and I will have that next week. There's a legislative conference later this month, April 23rd, out in Columbus that I'll be attending. It is a half day long, several hours of legislative updates, and the legislators actually meeting with school board members from all across the state, answering our questions. I go every single year, and it's a fantastic opportunity to work with the legislators, get some really in-depth updates on the legislation that is relevant to public education, really diving into that and getting a chance to meet with multiple legislators at the same time. So I will have a report for that next month. The Board Leadership Institute, yes, which was just on the agenda, is a fantastic opportunity for professional development for board governance. I encourage other board members to attend. I've learned a great deal and made some really good relationships. The networking that I've done there has been very, very instrumental in the work that I do here. And then lastly, there are some updates on legislation in the State House that I want to bring to the board's attention. Just a handful of them. The State House was in recess for a bit, and they are back in session. A couple pieces of recently introduced legislation. House Bill 445, which is sponsored by Representative Cutrona and Click, is regarding school district policies for release time courses in religious instruction, which a lot of people are looking at right now. House Bill 447, sponsored by Representative Lojcik, modifies and expands property tax homestead exemptions, would gradually reduce school districts' 20 mil floor and would modify the formula for determining farmland's current agricultural use value. House Bill 468, which is sponsored by Reps. Kloffenstein and Brennan, regarding the presentation of information on patriotic organizations to students in public schools, and House Bill 470, which is sponsored by Representative Miller, requiring the Department of Education to conduct an annual audit regarding state assessments. I'm watching those and other pieces of legislation, and will update the board as I get more information and as the legislation moves to the State House and committees. That is all I have.
Thank you. Dr. Bailey.
Yeah, I'd like to first thank the board also for allowing me to go to the conference. It was a really good conference. Learned quite a bit. A lot of it was more, I think I got more confirmation than anything, but it's always great as a new board member to go to these conferences, to meet other board members and superintendents around this country, to see what their thoughts are and what they are doing. There was one district in New York who just went through the same thing we went through as far as finding a superintendent. When they were talking, it was like, deja vu, like we were just going through exactly the same thing. But to just listen to that and all the things that were going on, it was just a wonderful process. So I really appreciated going to that conference. I also want to thank all of our athletes and the hard work that they've put in and the things that they do, and really just want to congratulate all of our students. Here lately, I haven't really seen a whole lot of mischief going on, so it seems like everybody's kind of calmed down a little bit. So I want to commend them on that. I don't think I really have anything else other than that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bailey. Dr. Goodwine.
Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. If we can get a update of how, actually, Board Member Walker brought this to my attention, the section 3319.0812 pre-service teacher permit, how that, that law goes in effect April 30th, and how that will impact us as a district. And it is a different type of license in a sense that gives individuals the opportunity to actually perform, they get on a 3-year license to be able to perform teacher duties while actually still being in school for that one. So just for us as a board, if we can have, I know we have a legal clerk that I've actually never seen at the board meeting. We do have one, right? We still have that person?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we can just have them come have them come in and actually talk to us about what that is, how it would impact us, and how it is possible, like even as we approve individuals on the recommendation, what those type of licenses are, since they are new and a little different. Other than that, let me see. First, I want to give a shout out to Joy Stokes and Mindy Clark. I saw y'all in the paper interviewing for superintendent jobs, and that is so dope. I'm excited for you guys. It is very exciting to know that we have the potential to be a district that helps and pushes individuals into the next level of their academic careers as superintendents. And that's awesome. I think it could be a great thing knowing that potentially in districts around us that people came from working in Dayton Publix, and I hope that it builds some type of network. I hope y'all get some of these jobs too, because interviewing is not fun all the time. But yes, I'm excited. I was excited to see you guys both in the paper. If anybody in the district ever needs a recommendation, I will do whatever I can, because I believe that it is great to see people go to the next level in their careers, and I'm in a generation where we celebrate those type of things. So shout out to you guys. I hope that whatever you are trying to do, if there's a way that we can help you get to that next point, people here are celebrating you and not talking about you, not putting you down, or not doing things that make you feel bad about trying to do something better in your career. So I was excited to see you both in there. I hope to see, I know there are probably about 10 people in our team right now that have superintendent license. If all 10 of them want to become superintendents, I hope that we did something to help that make that a possibility for them. Next, there are a couple town hall meetings that myself and Dr. Bailey, I roped them in doing them with me. We are specifically, and actually Mr. Walker will be coming as well. All board members are welcome to come, similar to how when we did the international school. One of the things that we did where we went out and we talked to people who would be impacted by this and it coming in their community. So because I was here during that time, and I believe that people build the schools, the staff doesn't necessarily build them themselves. We need to have those type of dialogues, and we are going to have those next week at 3 different locations. I believe one is downtown, one is at Thurgood. Ms. Kidd, where's the third one? Belmont. So we are all over, and we are specifically talking about what individuals want us to bring to the alternative schools. We've had some conversations over the last year. We've heard about it, not only it helping some of our kids who need a lot more wraparound services, but also kids who are transitioning into our district in that period of learning about how they get there. But community, I think you all have some great ideas of what it will take to make this school successful, because with this new entity, it is only going to help the other ones be able to continue to grow and thrive a little bit more. Come out, talk to us, tell us your ideas. I mean, we're there to listen more than we are to talk or do anything else. As you heard, Dr. Lawrence and his team will be putting on a presentation on Tuesday of kind of some of their ideas about it. From that, as a board, we still have to put our ideas in it too, but our community matters a lot on what the finished product will be. So we need you guys. Talk to us, send anybody up here a message on it, and we will do what we can to try to really get this next school to meet a need that is really inherent to us as an organization. I want to give a shout out to athletics. As much as I know I get on their nerves and I push them to see that the Dayton had the first cheerleading competition, it was very huge. The chatter online, watching them go at it and talk just like the boys do about basketball or football was amazing. And of course, everybody thinks they got robbed, and it wouldn't be a good day if everybody walked away going, oh my gosh, I felt like they gave us the exact scores we were supposed to get. So I hope that this event not only continues to ignite something in our cheerleaders, but it gives them a place now that the show is purely about them, and everyone is there to see them and the talents that we only get a fraction to see when they're on the sidelines supporting our other teams. So I look forward to next year. I'm very appreciative to all the cheer coaches, because they were the hearts of making this a possibility. Not only have they been working towards this since last year, they've gone through this entire season, and they're out of season right now too. So to continue to have that group of women and males together throughout this is really big. And we also had another successful all-star game. It was great to see not only our chief of athletics go against one of our basketball coaches. They were both worn out by the end of it during their three-point competition, and that was great to watch. My constituent days are happening. People are filling up, and I'm excited about that because people have a lot of things to share. I do want to let individuals know that, yes, you can still do in person or the Zoom online. The Zoom link is my personal Zoom link. It's not a district one. We are still working through some things where I want people to know that you should not get punished for talking to board members. That is a behavior that was of this district in the past. If that is happening to you, tell me, because I can only speak for me. I think that is a wrong action to tell individuals. We've changed our policies to match those things. We are here to listen to everybody. That is what being a part of a representative democracy is, that everyone has a voice, everyone has a right to tell you what's going on, and you should not be punished for doing those type of things. So you still can do the in-person, which they're filling up kind of fast. But if you don't get me this month, I'm going all year with this process, and I look forward to people who come out, and whatever I can do to make this place better, I will do it. Other than that, I think I had one more. Dr. Lawrence had a couple follow-up on some emails that I sent out regarding some positions being posted that weren't board approved. And I'm trying to understand our process here of if we're going to add on to positions that haven't come before us, whether that is putting that language to let individuals know it is not board approved, meaning it may or may not occur, or if we're going to wait until the board actually approves positions before posting them. That's my question to you.
I brought no superintendent recommendations forward with any job that's not currently on the organizational chart.
Oh, I'm talking about postings online for positions. That's the part I'm asking about. I've gotten some questions on these positions, and if we're putting that language to let them know that it's not board approved yet, or it's coming before it.
I am sure HR has relayed that information.
All right. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Wick.
Thank you. Yeah, athletics, great job this weekend. Great job to our kids and families, though. You know, long days and events, and all of our families and kids were super engaged, and everybody was well behaved. So thanks to everybody that came out. Sunday, April 28th, there's a special screening at the Neon Movies of Reading Rainbow series that my Neon friend asked me, Butterfly in the Sky, and it's the documentary of LeVar Burton and the Reading Rainbow series. So I'll have more information on it next week, but invite all my teacher friends to take a look at that. And Ms. Spurlock, I'll get with you on some of that, and maybe we can get some teachers there to do that. It's testing time, everybody. Our teachers, our kids are in the building. Lots of work, lots of pressure for everybody, so good luck to all of our teachers. Please let me know if I can do anything. Thanks to our administrative team, and yeah, thanks to the team up here. Appreciate you all.
All right, Brother Nichols, you ready yet?
I am ready.
All right.
Before I start with my new business, a couple of days before our amazing spring break, I was called to the office, and I was awarded by Miss Minor with a gift from not only our superintendent, but his cabinet and other board members. I was awarded with $320 that I was able to use on my trip. And I just want to say thank you to everyone, because without that help and without that support, I don't think I would have that much fun that I had on the trip. I used that money a lot. I splurged a lot on my. I went to the mall with some fellow underclassmen, and I basically only had like $30 after that, because we went crazy. We bought every food item possible. We had new clothes, everything. So I just want to say thank you very much to all of you. While on that trip, I went to Alabama and Kentucky colleges. I started with going to Kentucky State University. I love that HBCU, the bottom of my heart. Every time I go, it makes me happy. Once I got to Alabama, I was able to go to Troy State University, Belmont University, and the University of Alabama. All those colleges were beautiful. And going to the University of Alabama and learning that their campus president was a fellow electrical engineer, as I looked to be, brought me so much hope, because it showed that it doesn't matter which way you go, you can always be a leader in your community. While I was there, I was also able to go to Montgomery, Alabama, and go to the Rosa Parks Museum, where they recreated the famous bus incident where she refused to give up her seat, which it was beautiful. And if anyone had the chance to go down there, I highly recommend going down there and seeing it. When I returned from the trip, I was notified by my fellow counselor that I will be a part of the graduating class of 2024. And lastly, voted unanimously by my peers at school, I will be speaking for our graduating class. That is all for Tommy.
Madam Treasurer?
I have nothing to share tonight.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Dr. Lawrence?
Thanks, President Smith. First, I'd like to say thanks to Lisa Minor. I was in D.C. at the Council of Great City Schools Legislative Conference with about 75 other superintendents, and I spent my evening watching her in this seat. You were magnificent. We've done this a long time together. Appreciate you. To all the students who are out there taking OST, it's that time, April and May. We put the work in. Let's see where it pans out, and then we'll start getting ready for next year. Senior classes out there, I've got invitations to 7 senior class meetings. I don't want the graduation to be the first time that I have a chance to speak to you personally. President Smith, you and I were on tour, and we saw all the classes from 7 through 12, but this time just the senior classes, so can't wait to get out to see them. And boys volleyball, man, I saw my first game last week. They have a lot of fun. I mean, a lot. And so that was really exciting to see. So kudos to the department that put that together. And then I typically try to finish with this, but I look out there in the audience and I see you all, and you don't look as tired as normal because it looks like we're going to be ending early. Kudos to you, President Smith, for running a smooth operation, brother. And to my team, appreciate you.
Actually, sir, we are running a little late, 60 seconds late,
Okay.
I may say. So I will keep it very brief. I appreciate everybody. Everybody, well, not everybody, people already spoke on the events. It was great seeing our cheerleaders out. The events on Sunday were amazing. I know having some conversation with Chief Jones may be hard to kind of put them on the same weekend because I know they were running tired by the time we got out of there, but I think it was beautiful, and I think it was one of those times that get to highlight our district. One of the biggest things I saw were people coming in and having an enjoyable time and just talking about the good of our district. Also, got some good news coverage there too, so it was good to see people sharing news stories about our district and seeing our students in a positive light. So I want to thank everybody that had to do with putting that together, our volunteers that came out, staff that came out, teachers, principals that came out. It was a great time, and I will say those are beautiful times to talk to our parents and community members. You know, you really can get some good conversations there. Winding down the year, please stay vigilant on all sides. Parents, watching what goes on in the building. I know Dr. Bailey said we haven't seen too much mischief, so now I got to cross my fingers. So, but I do want to thank everybody. I'm glad we're back from break, and I hope everyone had as good of a time as I did yesterday watching the eclipse. It was one of those beautiful moments that I was glad to share with my family, and I honestly think I've seen hundreds of amazing pictures, but that moment in time, a picture still can't replicate it because it was just so beautiful. So I didn't think I would be touched as much as I was, but it was one of those moments where I almost shed a tear, but it was a good one. It was a good one. So thank everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And I am so sorry that I have you out 3 minutes later than I planned to. But we're gonna keep working on it. But now, pursuant to section 121.22G2 of the Ohio Revised Code, I move that this board go into executive session. This meeting is being held to consider the appointment or employment of a public employee. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any
Who
questions?
second?
May we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Reinhardt,
Yes.
Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
8 yeses.
All right, thank you.